In this video, my shop vac was making a bunch of weird noises, so I decided to try and isolate the issue, mend it, and fix it. But if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and check out my channel content as well. But other than that, let's get to it. Now, my shop vac was making a lot of weird noises when it was being turned on and off. And it was really bugging me, especially when it sounded like there was a dead squirrel getting ground up in there. Now, that's a bad reference. Now that it's mended, it sounds so much better. And I kid you not, like, it sounds so much better. And it was so simple to take apart, so simple to fix. And I don't know why the company didn't originally put that piece in at the beginning. But let's get to it. My shop vac started making a bad noise. It sounds like it's got a bad bearing or something. Take a listen. Sounds like it's got a bad bearing, and what I'm gonna do is try and open it up, see if it's got a bearing. It feels like a bearing or something's binding, only because when you put your hand on the top of the motor like this, you can kind of feel friction as it's happening, and it's still spinning, it's still circulating the air within the vacuum. It's just, there's something binding up. Start by lifting this off and pulling it up like so. Here's one of the automotive plates, only to keep track of all these little screws. Start by removing the top here with filter, just twist and release, pull the filter off. Just like that. Using a T25 Torx bit and a wireless drill or a battery powered drill, I'm gonna open it up and see if we can get to the motor. We got the Amazon truck. Perfect timing, exactly what I needed. I think I can separate it. Well, that was interesting. Take note on the direction of this piece here. Go down to the actual motor itself. That's not good. There's already a missing screw. Pull this up. Apparently there's some rust in here. I don't know why. And yeah. Here's the actual motor itself. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. There's two more screws, it looks like, on the inside here. I'm actually very surprised that these are all the same bit. You would think that the company would make them 2,000 different pieces. I think. Haha! Huzzah! Could be a problem. Look at this. Look at the little fins. Wowzers. Interesting. Sounds like it's coming from this top plate, so we're gonna grab a different Torx bit and pop that off. Using a T20 Torx bit, I'm gonna pop this plate off. Oh, jeez. Look on the inside, it looks like there's some scoring on the inside, so that might be where the problem is. I'm thinking it's more of those fins, but you would think there's a bearing or something in here. It looks like they used a brass piece, like a machined brass collet. It's not a collet, but something that holds it. I can't think the name, but you'd think that they'd put a little more effort into it. Well, let's go see if we can find a bearing. Looks like this piece here was spinning in here inside the little the compartment for a while. I don't know why they wouldn't put a bearing in it, but it looks like it seized up after a while and the grease just died, and there's a little cloth belt thing that, it's a bad design. I don't like it. So I got a bearing roughly the same diameter as the main shaft above the fan. And I'm gonna pop this. I'm gonna see if I can put this in here. If I can't, I'm gonna pop this out and put the bearing in place. There's that ring.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can see. That's seized up. That's supposed to be lubricated. This bearing is going to go in here just like that. I'm thinking I might stick some hot glue in there just to hold it in place, but we're going to see if this remedies the issue. Or, well, I can't use that. It's a piece of leather. Okay, let's go get the motor. I have the motor here. What I'm going to do is tap this bearing onto here until it sits clean with a little bit of, I'm going to add a little bit of resistance to it, only so I can keep the bearing seated in place without moving. And I don't want to use glue or anything, but I just want to keep it seated. So I'm going to add it just enough until it's just pushing against this bracket. On the top of the plastic trash can, I'm going to set a 13mm socket on the bottom, like that, just to show you. On the top portion, I'm going to use the same size socket to the outer ring of the bearing. Now, if you've ever pressed in wheel bearings, same logic. Just going to hold it like so. What I'm first going to do is to get it seated by giving it a couple of taps. I'm going to use this end of the socket to kind of just press it down. See? See how it's starting to go down? We can use this here to kind of see how far we are off, and we've still got a little bit to go. So that's what I'm going to do. Since it's not on the stud yet, I'm going to just give it a couple more taps. And this will push it down a little more. This will push it down. Start reassembling everything. Reinstall this top cover, making sure that everything is in place before I put it together. So like the cable is right here. Everything spins. There we go. Yeah, everything's spinning. On the back side, I'm going to reinstall the 2 screws. I'm going to reassemble this. This is where the switch is, so it shouldn't be too difficult to kind of position where it's supposed to go. This thing is cutting me. This thing is sharp. The little fan on the bottom is sharp. It is legitimately cutting me. But we're going to finish the project anyways. I'm going to kind of line it up and snap it into place. Just like so. Making sure that the switch works. Oh, oops. That tells me that I'm lined up. Reinstall the bottom fan cover, and unfortunately only had 1 screw as I remember. So I'm going to screw in that 1 single screw. This top plate, making sure that the cable is flat, and just line it up just like that and start dropping screws in. Alright, now that all the screws are back in place, and making sure that I didn't miss one, which I didn't, I'm going to put the filter on, put the filter cover on, snapping it back in place, flip it over, snap it down, plug it in for a sec, and turn it on and test. That sounds a lot better than that old mechanism that was in there. Make sure it's sucking, it sounds so much better. It sounds a lot healthier, and it saves me a trip from having to go and get a new one. So. How's that? Easy tip.
Well, how was that? Now that it's quiet, it's not bugging me anymore. It doesn't sound like that something's dying in there, and it works now. And all it was that little bearing. It's a bearing. I don't know why they wouldn't use a bearing in the first place. But I mean, it's so simple to take apart. It's so simple to do. I can't wrap my head around it. But hopefully this helps you fix your shop vac. Now, as normal, if you haven't already, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more, and hopefully we can return to so-called normal. Now, I know that's not going to happen, but all I can say is stay safe, and hopefully we can do something next.